Hello everyone. This is the first tutorial in this particular package, and this is the beginning of something that hopefully you guys will utilize and get into as best you can as you start working with Autodesk and Maya. Now, what we're looking at here is the default interface, and it may seem, kind of daunting at first. However, if you look up here, we have this main menu area and this window selection here. Well, here, let me start this way. Each interface and within Maya here, within these drop-down menu here, offers tools that kind of coincide with what, those interfaces offer, such as, we're in modeling now, so we have mesh tools, we have edit mesh, we have surfaces. But if I was just to change this to something like rigging, okay, now remember, from Windows over, you can kind of see these new choices. Some of these will always be here, like Arnold and 3ds Max. But let's go back to modeling here, and you'll kind of see again that choices at the top from the right over are going to coincide with what workspace we are in. In other words, what menu workspace that we're in. And again, this particular one, we're just in the default Maya Classic workspace. Now, there are different workspaces that will, better suit you for different projects. If you're modeling and sculpting, say, if you are, using the MASH node editor, it will also allow you to, I suppose what it does, it allows you to be more functional and faster as long as you know that interface. Now, you can always just use the classic. That's the one that I usually use. I'm most familiar with it. And this area here, next to our menu area, this little, I would say it's a shelf. It's like a menu shelf above our actual shelves. This little area gets you, quick accesses to, say, object and component modes, to snapping, to rendering, to light editors, things like that will come along, or become more popular in your development, I should say, as you start, getting better at Maya and understanding it as well. Now, these tools over here, these icons on the right, they're basically development icons. In other words, you're going to utilize these icons at particular times. If you're creating a human IK rig, if you're creating a complex scene, all of that. But this shelf area here, this next area down, this is the shelves, okay, and they have tabs that will title these shelves. This particular one I'm on, I'm kind of scrolling around, is the poly modeling shelf. And they offer primitives here to the left. They also offer some other SVG settings and type settings. They'd also offer curves and surfaces. We have sculpting tools in our shelves, and we have rigging tools in our shelves. Now, these shelves offer a great way to begin modeling quickly. And these shelves are also fully customizable, and you can create your own. So let's go ahead and then move over here to the right side of our interface here, and let's take a look at this channel box layer editor. And down below that also we have this display layers. This is similar to a Photoshop without supporting the hierarchy of the actual layers. And these will get populated as we start to develop. Now, another area over here is this modeling Toolkit tab, and this offers some really quick, short ways to start to deform your models. And then we have this attribute editor, and the attribute editor again will be populated as we start to develop. Yeah, hold on, let me just go ahead and switch this camera this screen within the screen. There we go. Okay, down here we have our timeline, some controls, and our Python editor. Up here we have some panel layout icons. We have the single panel. We have our quad panel, and this is for the viewport as you saw it change. And we're back to our single panel. We also have some selecting tools. We have a standard arrow, we have the lasso tool, and we have a paint tool for selecting. Below that we have these translation, rotation, and scale tool. But we can also get to those by creating shortcuts, and we will talk about that as well. I'm going to go ahead and move my screen in screen again. And I wanted again to kind of talk to you about this viewport area. Now the viewport area is where all the magic happens, okay? It's where everything is developed, and it has another bunch of selections, tools, and enabling different types of attributes to affect your scene. And this scene, again, because it's in 3D, we have a grid, and then we have this gray looking background. Now that gray looking background is infinity. It just goes on forever into the X, Y, and Z axes. And each one of these viewports, now though I say that each one is because we're going to be using orthographic views as well, and each one of those will all share these same tools and selections, okay? So anytime I kind of refer to the viewport, I'm referring to this that particular area. So this is a little bit about Maya's interface, and we're going to cover more as we start to develop through this tutorial. Take your time, explore, have fun with it, try a few things, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.